something that our young people teach. And she got a word to bring for us from Sister David. Bring that word on to us this morning. What a great day to bring a word. We will not have
Okay. Okay. I left my book in the wall. So let's go to today's call. That can keep him down. Of course, we know that we don't need Jesus, and we know that today is Jesus, so of course, this call, we're going to be talking about how this teacher was not successful in keeping him down. We'll be reading from the book of Matthew. His reading Matthew showed that Jesus was the real Messiah, and he was the king of everyone was right now. So this purpose of the book of Matthew. So it constantly points out how Jesus fulfilling the promises given in the Old Testament. Kind of like checking out police and prophecies, see what he's doing. And he tells the story starting with his family tree and his birth, and then how he raised his daughter, he started teaching, and then he raised his people down to 5 apart. It's just like, like either give 5 courses, we give him 5 courses of he like these, so we start on the mountain. It's like a welcome speech, and then instructions to the 12 disciples, which is like he was training his squad, when he was orientation, like. And then parables about the kingdom, and this is when he was teaching all the deep truths about how we know the Christians. And it's like giving examples, the mustard seed, the lost sheep, so that everybody people understand. He's breaking down first to have a guide. And then the Olivet Discourse, which is him speaking about the Christian who is coming, and of course the ending when he is the king of the side. And now we get to the end, so this is what I listed today, so we got. The first section is called misguided and mockery. So, misguided means having or showing false judgment. Of course, mockery means teasing or you visit somebody. So, the people are judging and teasing Jesus incorrectly. So, that's what this section is going to be about. So, they spread rumors, they talk about him, they dissing him, and he's always doing it directly in his face. And he's knowing that, they're wrong, and they don't know what's going on, but he is not saying a word. That's something that we can work on, especially learning how to hush. I did this sermon, hush. He told y'all about how the girl kept saying, hush. And I was like, why y'all keep saying it? Because I was paying attention. It's Christian, we need to learn how to hush. And that's what he don't think because he saw him talking about it when he heard him speaking on him. He moved wrong, he never corrected them. He just let them talk and he was quiet. That's something that I got to work on myself because when you speak on me, I got to say something. I don't care what it is, what it's about. I'm working on it, but I got to say so. So I'm know how to still convict myself and learn that we got to do like Jesus and be quiet. So this decision is about misguided mockery. Misguided mockery is good. So we're gonna start with verse 39 and 40.
They that passed by revealed him, wagging their heads, and saying, Thou that destroyest the temple and buildest it in 3 days, save thyself. If thou be the Son of God, come down from the cross.
Okay, so rebel means to criticize in an abusive or angry manner. So this is what we want to talk about. Dog them out. It's all they're saying. So that's like, you said you want to destroy the temple and build it back in 3 days. So if you can do that, then come on. Why you want to talk? Why you coming down if you got all this type of power? So they keep it with him. When your cousins to get the people to give you trouble and stuff. It was something like that. People were trying to rise him up. But something to note, and I realized I did in my day before I said it, but when he said that he wants to tear down the temple and build it back in 3 days, he was not talking about the actual temple, like the actual church. He was speaking of himself because you are a temple as well. Everybody is a temple. I know when growing up as a woman, I don't know if they say boys. But they say your body is a temple, so be careful who you let around you, be careful what you put in it. It's your temple. So when he said the temple was going to be torn down and brought back in 3 days, he was speaking of himself. He was not speaking of he was going to actually go knock down the real temple that they go crazy and he's speaking to him. So that's what he meant. And when the crowd at the crossroads went to him, it shows how people were lost, how lost people can get, and us in this world, we have those same things, especially we get a lot of ridicule and make a mockery of a lot of stuff that we believe in. And we have to learn how to be quiet and allow stuff to play out as well, just as Jesus did. They were loud and wrong, basically. But he still didn't clap back. I always say LW when people say wrong, loud and wrong. They were LW. And so Jesus still didn't clap back, and it shows that he gave them grace. Even though they were wrong, he knew they were wrong. He could have delivered them. He could have sat down and he gave them grace. And us as Christians in this world, we have to learn how to give others grace as well when we know that they're wrong and they don't hear it and stuff like that. Give people the grace that you want to receive on your walk. So you want to be forgiven when you do something and you forgive people. If you want people to give you a little leeway when you mess up, then give people a little leeway. If you want people to accept your communication, then you accept their communication, stuff like that. Give them grace, and that's what Jesus was doing. He was giving them grace because he knew that they did not know better. And when you know that people don't know better, then you should just give them a little more grace in the situation. Because, I mean, they can't do better if they don't know better. I always say that when people bother me, I try to check the source. You know, you go to see how they folks at, how they mom at, how they dad at. You see, if they some fools too, then you say, well, I ain't gonna do how they were. They don't know better. This is what they've been seeing their whole life. That's fools. So you have to be able to show people grace. So that's what this section was saying.
They are just like, you know, they misinterpret the meaning of the word when it's not true. What he's telling them, they saw the way you see things like that in normal people. Are you gonna tear it down and do it like that? How do you think about that? How are you gonna tear a house down and do it like that? The thought process was there. They were visualizing, I don't see this man tear his house down and build it like that. So they all were looking at that, but the meaning was it. Just like we see things, they can mean that here until you are Christian, here in the Bible, it's still meaning. You begin to read and study the meaning of it, then it becomes plain. They were not Christian no more. They don't understand what he's saying. So they all want to see, let me say that. I want to see it different back in the day. It took them all that time to do it. If this man gonna come and tear it down, that's exciting, see? That was basic.
Yes, and that happened in the series of movies out in my right now, about the resurrection. My husband dragged me to see him. I say drag me because I don't like those little movies like this. But he been dragging me to see him, and Jesus was talking so many parables, and one of the disciples was like, "Can you talk like this? What you trying to say?" You know, we don't understand. So that's what he was doing, speaking in those parables and stuff like that, and had them confused. But yes, he was talking about him, the temple being him. Like I said, our bodies are temples, and we should treat them as temples as well. And be careful what we put into it, when we take in, who we take in, adults, on the married girls, who we take in, stuff like that. We have to be careful with things like this. So yeah, take care of your temple. That's what my parents always told me. I don't want to talk too much with the kids, but that's what my parents always told me. You have to be careful about who and what you let into your space in your temple. I told you I used to like to drink. I did. And I did, you know, you gotta be honest. We went to the church and what the preacher said, a lot of people can't help because they don't want to talk about what they used to do, or what they was stuck in, and they tell you that you get out of it. Yes, I used to love me a drink. A lot of drinks. I'll tell you, drink, you can't get drunk. So yeah, I used to love a drink too, and I was just putting anything in my temple. And then I even got to the point, you know, when the little babies got popular, they got popular when I was in high school too. I just snuck it out everywhere. And my mom used to come home and say, "Why my house smell like popcorn?" You know, they used to be me singing with their back, but stuff like that, you should not be putting in your temple. I know y'all see that the babies are tearing up people. I don't know if they have to do that social and stuff like that. If I had never got caught, I would have went out there too, because I was poking on that thing all the time trying to fit in. But be careful what you put into your temple. Take care of your temple and who you let into your temple. That too. But yes, he was speaking of himself when he said the temple. So this section is basically just setting the stage for what is about to happen. The people are raising him and talking about him and picking with him, but he's staying quiet. He's teaching us that we can be quiet, allow us to play. You don't have to speak on every little thing he does. You don't have to address every little person that's asking to you. I had to work on it. I'm still working on it because I still want to say something. So I understand people struggling with it, but yes, you have to learn how to be quiet and allow people to just see what's going to happen on their own. They'll see what's going to play out. You don't have to say nothing to them. Just let it play out. So,
Back in the day, when they told you, be quiet, don't say that. And if you would get that black check, it would slap you in your mouth. Slap you in your mouth. I never seen my mom go there. She said, "These is my mom." I mean, I was loud. I shut them up. She said, "Baby, she gives me 1 year, I lay it on her." But I know that they all around my house. I live with four up. That problem that's on that day, I live twice a week, I'm quiet. And I'm old.
and believe it or not, my dad brought me in when I was young. He was doing his job, and he was telling me to be quiet, and I was trying to show out to the people around. And I said so much, and this and that, here. I mean, it wasn't hard, it was simple, like, okay, let me hush. Yeah, and you don't want the Lord have to pop in your mouth. So just go ahead and hush on your own. I always miss with my dad, I said, be humble, you don't want him to do it. He do it as much as we do, so you want to do it for yourself, so you won't have to be great with it. Now, our next section is called rejection by the Father. Of course, rejection means to be dismissed, to be turned away. And of course, the Father is God. Sometimes when things are going our way, we'll start to think that God kind of leaving us hanging. Because, we don't know the plan that He has for us. We just have to go with and trust that He is going to do what's best for us because He is. I have a blind faith, like, I don't know what's going to happen, I don't know how it's going to play out. But I know that I'm trusting God and He's going to let it play out in my best interest, even if it don't look like it's going to for me. So this section is about sticking to what God has planned for us, even if it feels like we're being rejected by Him. For God.
Now from the 6th hour there was darkness over all the land until the 9th hour.
Okay, so it was the middle of the day, so this like 12 o'clock, 12:30. And it suddenly got dark and stayed that way for 3 whole hours. So imagine it's the middle of the day, you just got off your lunch break. We just got out of class, which as soon as you get off your lunch break, it's 12. So as soon as you get out of your lunch break, and it's literally dark, like it's midnight. It's got this fog, pitch black dark. That's what happened. That happened, we don't even have to wait. I'm running somewhere. Oh no, I'm just gonna drive past people's light or something. I'm getting out the way. But that's what happened with them. So imagine you walk outside and it's pitch black. And then it ain't just for a minute, it stay like that. It ain't just like the eclipse that we had when the sun was up by 10 minutes. It ain't that. It was hours that it got dark. So this is saying this again. The sky got dark in the middle of the day, and they made sure it's the middle of the day, so you can't come up with no reason or why this happened. Like, the sun set here today? No. It's so you can know that this is something big that's happening. In the middle of the day, it got dark, and it got back like after 3 hours. This was 46.
And about the 9th hour Jesus cried with a loud voice saying, Eli, Eli, lama sabachthani. That is to say, my God, why hast thou forsaken me?
Okay. Sabachthani, I can look it up. I don't know. I really got it right. So basically, Jesus started crying out in pain, and he was asking God, like, why do I feel so far away from you? Or you feel like you're forsaking me? That means that you leave me hanging, you abandon me. So it was kind of getting rough on him, is what they're saying. Like he wasn't down God, but he was expressing like this hard for me. And a lot of times you might feel like you can't say like God, it's hard because you don't want to question the Lord. And I remember when I was sick, and I was telling my dad like, I don't want to question the Lord. Like why are you doing this? But my dad was like, you can't question the Lord. You can't ask God like why, because He will explain to you, or He will send somewhere for you to know what's going on, so you can know that He's still with you. It's okay to say God is giving the rough. Like, God, where you at? You can't, we human, we flesh. We can't say, God, where you at? What's going on? Come through. That's what my age said. Come through, you pull up. It's a little hard, so it's okay to say that even Jesus on the cross was saying, God, it's feel like you leaving me. You leave me hanging, like I'm feeling forsaken. So that's why it's called rejection by the Father, because He's feeling like, hey, I know you said I gotta go through this. I knew it was gonna be hard, but it's getting a little too hard, Show up and let me know that you see how to do the relief. So So that's what he's saying. He's saying that he in pain and he's feeling far away. He's feeling like I know God is leading me, but it's feeling like, hey, you walking off a little bit. You ain't going, so you standing over there somewhere instead of beside me. First step.
All the time that Jesus is not thinking that he comes out of so now, she's saying, God, lead me. And God, my Father, you sent me to do this thing, now you're going to lead me. That's what he's saying. Why would you think that? That's not going back on me. He said it now, and to do his will. But now, I'm doing what you asked me to do. Then you're going to punish me for doing what you asked me to do. Don't that sound like something?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Now, something like how you do out here. Yeah. They do what fight, they turn around, punch them, and don't want to fight. Wait a minute, I'm telling you to go ahead and do this thing. I want you to do it, then you're gonna turn your back on me for doing it. So even Jesus didn't understand at that moment, why God? Because I'm doing it your will. I came to save your people. And His God.
Even us in us today, like people feel like, if I accepted Christ like my dad, I would say we think that as soon as we accept Christ, everything gonna go like perfect. And I had that problem myself. I was saying like I go to church all the time. I'm always at church, literally all through the week. I'm at church. I was at church every day this week. I'm always at church. And it's like, God don't want to see. I see people at the club. I see people partying. They just happy, healthy, living it up. And I'm the one who's sick. And He had to say just because you accept Christ and you live with Him, that does not mean that you're not going to go through anything. Because you still are. Just because you're on the walk with Him doesn't mean that everything gonna go perfect for you. Because you still have other things. If everything go perfect, you honestly not even gonna stay a lot of home. Because I know a lot of times some people don't pray, so that's gonna do something. So if you want to pray, you want to do something. He gotta keep you going to do something. Just so you can keep talking to Him. He can keep hearing from you. So it's just like that. Just because you are doing what He needs you to do, and you know you are in the walk, it does not mean it's not gonna be hard. It is okay to call God and say, hey, it's a little hard. I need to help. Let up on for a minute. It's okay to say that. So,
Is it really okay?
yeah. It's okay to say that.
It don't mean he gonna do it, but.
Oh, girl.
No,
I thought you just said
I told y'all I was pushing it and God myself when I got sick saying, I was telling my dad, I don't wanna say, God, why you doing this to me? Because I was just in plan. He like, you can't ask the Lord why He doing this to you. You can't say, Lord, I'm tired, or Lord, what's going on? You can't say that. You can't question the Lord. You can't. Because His answer's for you. That's what the Bible for, because He knew we was gonna have questions. If He thought we were gonna have questions, He wouldn't send it. So that's why we do have a God, and we can't ask the Lord.
Because that's what happened to Paul. He kept telling the Lord, why don't you move this strong? And he said, finally, the Lord just answered him and said, my grace is sufficient. Sometimes we keep going over and over.
47.
Some of them that stood there when they heard that said, this man called for Elias. And straight away one of them ran and took a sponge and filled it with vinegar and put it on a reed.
Okay. So, yeah. The crowd didn't understand what Jesus was saying. They was acting like I was acting like my mom. We watch people with my mom. We watch people with my mom. She can't never understand what they're saying. Like, we have to keep it around. We like, Mom, that's not what he's saying. He said something. No, that ain't. She arguing now. You gotta rewind it. You gotta cut the captions on so she can know what he's saying. That's exactly how they act like my mom. We always do something about that. That's how he's talking for you. I mean, God was a prophet and a miracle worker. So that's how he needed help. He looking for a miracle. He looking for somebody to come down, and him some help. So they ran and got him some vinegar and they put it on the spoon. And they put it on the reed. And the reed is just a long thing, like a long thing. So like before he out from him. So they put the sponge on the end so it could reach up to him. It's like a visual picture in. So they put on the sponge and they reached it up to him. And they gave it to him, trying to give him some relief, give him some drink, put some on his mouth. I was laughing, I said, we can just try this to put it in a real life time. Y'all know how we can ginger ale fix everything. Everyone got had vinegar, because that was that ginger ale. The Roman soldiers used vinegar after they, God was, I got this for my dad. The Roman soldiers used vinegar after that, God was to kind of replenish them, it was a refresher. So they went and got him in vinegar and they put it on his sponge to give him a little relief, to refresh him. You know, we think ginger ale fix everything. If it's good as that ginger ale, I remember I broke my thumb in 5th grade. And I missed it next day, and I was with my granddad, and I was like, man, my hand hurt. But I'm not a medicine kid, so they find me with a remedy or something. I don't like medicine, I don't really take medicine. So I was like, what happened to this? He said, well, don't sit with ginger ale. And I went to ginger ale before. Nothing, but us, we think that fix everything. Stomach kind of ginger ale, head kind of ginger ale, your back kind of ginger ale. It's like, so they went and got you and like, come on, sip on these, and, you know, to get a little relief today. I need to call for Elijah for a miracle just because it's not the same.
Look at this. That ginger ale that never help.
You know, that my thumb hurt until my mom picked me up.
So you won't suggest that we can start doing ginger ale every time we go?
Just keep calling. Calling the Lord. Don't worry about that ginger ale.
Sure.
And we get a ginger ale and keep on it, like, it's simple. There's a little taste in it. So I know it don't work for nothing. It didn't work for this. So yes, they gave him that, and that was the, give him a little relief. They got him calling for relief, so that's doing what they do. Yep, this is gonna be constantly tearing him down. 49.
The rest said, let us see whether aliens will come to China.
The other people was like, wait. Don't beat him nothing. Nah, he's the son of God. Don't beat him nothing. Don't beat him nothing. Don't beat him nothing. They still messing with him. It's just like when people mess with you and I just little doubts for faith and try to say, nah, since they're so holy, don't get to know him. Nah, don't give her no money for her beer. She loves the Lord so bad she over the church. My church ain't get to it. Nah, don't give a fuck. Like my dad said, the people come to you and say, I ain't ate in 3 days. And they say, I'm afraid for you. Well, you know you couldn't tell him right, you could have got him something. That was me trying to mock him about his faith, saying, oh, don't give him no help. That's the Lord who is supposed to be son of God. And I always heard because when I was sick, I remember I was telling one of my friends, I was like, yeah, they said me I'm sick, I was telling her everything that was going. We're not friends no more. I was telling her everything that they were supposed to be doing and stuff. And she was like, and you go to church all the time. That's why I don't go to church. You know, maybe that's what wants to make you doubt your faith. That's what they were doing. They were trying to do mind play. And I always tell my mom, I rather you just punch me. I can stand all that. I can stand and talk and all that. Just don't hit me. Do that. Just don't knock me out. But I can't stand all that punching. I can stand your head. That'd be good. So that's what was doing. They were trying to make him doubt his faith. You know, messing with him. And this thing is, I feel like we're not friends no more. Zero. Saying people was down when she got saved, you know what I'm saying? I ain't no way because of fast. And I told my mom the other day, we were talking, I said, it seemed like we are the only people that do not allow you to grow from stuff that you have known. Like every time you're trying to do better or you're trying to grow, it's always one of us that's gonna bring up what you used to do, or how you used to act. Even my friends were doing it. Even some of my friends got to us who were doing it, saying, oh, she's too old and she's so old, but we used to be in the club every week. I know we used to be in the club and now I'm not. I told her I don't have the nice do. I know I used to like to drink, and now I don't. You know, stuff like that, they'll try to bring up that fun to do that. They still do that. They've been doing it ever since I've been trying to walk right. They'll bring up, I've been to different now. That's why I told her I was sitting down. You work from people that don't allow you to grow. Because you can't grow. And you can't, like my dad was telling me, it's hard to like get rid of my friends. We have been friends since I was in like maybe 9th grade, a little kid, basically. And it's hard for you to try, you know, you don't want to cut out the people that you close to. You want to cut out the people that you used to hang with, just because you change, you know. But you're going to have to. You can love them from a distance. You can always look out for them if they need you, they can call you. But some people you just got to get away from them. Some people you just can't hang with them more. Especially if they're not willing to grow with you. You can always offer them the opportunity. Hey, grow with me. You can come to church with me. I had my best friend at church with me last Sunday. Her husband and her baby, she just got married. I used to give my little husband say, come on now, it's time to get married. It's time to get married. You want, come on. If he text me back one day and say, okay, I got to bring my friend, they got me 2 days later, they got me. Because I'll put their pressure on him. But yeah, you can help your people grow. You don't have to leave them behind. You can keep trying, but there are some people that you won't have to. They want to be left behind. You can pray for them. That's all you can do. Because my dad always said, you can't change hearts. My mom said, you can't change the heart. You only can pray for them. All you can do is tell them you got them, but only the Lord can change their heart. When they ready for it to be changed, because we have free will when it comes to the Lord. But yeah, they were trying to make him doubt his faith, and like you said, yeah, we don't let you grow. If we see you doing better, we gotta bring up what you used to do. And if you do that, you know, you can call yourself saying that about one of your people, like, and she used to so, catch yourself and stop. Catch yourself and stop.
And you know, people say that, and think about it. Say it, and 3 times he said, he walked away. When he came back to somebody else, your friend, like you said, when you became friends, they can feel out to you without saying right to you. Say it, that was something. He comes in your direction, but he still comes. So he came out to you, you know, all the time. All you do is say, have faith, keep praying, and move on. Because he's not going to stop. That's his job. Faith doesn't God is like he comes to do God. We said we walk away, yeah, but he comes to somebody else and very good. Why don't you do that? You know, all the things we used to do. Yeah, that's what I said. Used to, passing, that's the passing.
And then, we do have kids here. Just thinking about a lot of stuff that I used to do to fit in, a lot of stuff I was doing, it's just because I want to keep bringing. And you gotta think about as you get older, you have to become your own person. God continue to bring in that you're supposed to have. You don't have to try to, you know, I gotta try to tease the time because I want to keep my friend. I don't want to be known, but I do want to be, you know, in the church, but I don't want to be by myself because I don't have my friends to go to church. And so like that. So you still have to walk in your walk and just trust that the Lord is gonna work it out for you. He's gonna put you where you need to be. We always laugh, me and my best friend, they was with me that Sunday. We don't even know how we became friends. We just happened out there. We just talking one day, and next thing I know, she my best friend. We just were best friends. So the Lord wants to see who is supposed to be in your life, and He's also wants to remove. So just like you want Him to give, you have to be ready for Him to take this wheel. You can't just be all give. You're gonna have to be some take. So you have to be willing to leave behind those who don't want to go on and walk with you, no matter how close y'all are, no matter how long y'all been together. I'm gonna pick myself right now. No matter all that, you have to be willing to let it go so you can keep going. Don't stunt your growth just to hold. Stay with people. My mom had to push at me all the time when I was because I wanted to fit in. But you do not have to fit in. She used to say, you want to be a Fruit Loop or a Cheerio? I said, I want to be a Cheerio. I don't want to be no Fruit Loop. And you have to get that Fruit Loop, get that bowl of Cheerios. That's she always told me. It's okay if you stand out, especially when you're living right. It's all right to be different than other people. You do not have to be. You can be yourself, especially when you are right. Yes, it's hard, but you're gonna be blessed. You're gonna be able to look and see the difference in your life and those people like that don't want to come with you. You're gonna be able to look. Other people might look, you're gonna see it. You just have to be willing to open the door and allow the Lord to do it for you.
Sister T, when you were saying that, I was wondering what happened to that guy, them guy named Meshach, Shadrach, and Abednego when all of their other friends saw them go through that fire and come out. I wonder where all them friends were, because all of them was in the same country and school.
And that's what he'll do.
He separate.
He'll raise you in the presence of your enemies. The people turn on you, people bad, he's still gonna raise you up. And that's what he does. You have to stay in the wall. I never seen somebody walk with the Lord and it didn't work out. It never gonna happen because the Lord always gonna work it out for you.
Jesus, when he had cried again with a loud voice, he left the boat.
Okay, so he cried out again, he yelled. I ain't gonna yell, y'all gonna yell. He yelled out again. And it said he yelled up to go. That means that he died. That's when he laid his head up and he let his spirit leave. He yelled up to go, brought the ghost up, the ghost was gonna die. So his spirit lived, and he gave all the rest of his strength he had with that yell. That was it for him. He was released. It's just like when you watch those stuff, y'all don't got no keys. So I don't got no bird. Because when I watch TV, I be seeing them moments when they do that last push. They'll be in for them. They'll be all over the past, so they let their head on TV. I never seen them bird from them. But that's what I see on TV. It's just like that. He gave that last yell, the last push, that was it. He let go. He was released. He was set free. Do people want me to and me to go?
And behold, the veil of the temple was rent in flame from the top to the bottom. And the earth did quake, and the rocks rent. And the graves were opened, and many bodies of the saints which slept arose, and came out of the graves after his resurrection, and went into the holy city, and appeared unto them.
Okay, so I was just telling what happened once Jesus passed, which is also, okay, the curtain in the temple tore in half from the top down, and the significance of that is, you usually know when you tear a curtain, not over curtain, the shadow curtain, the curtain on the window, there's no curtains in the curtain. When you tear a curtain, of course, it usually be from the bottom up, because that's where the bottom is big. The top of it used to be on the rod, but this curtain tore from the bottom down, showing that it was God. From the top down, showing that it was God tearing the curtain. It was the man, it wasn't tearing up the temple, it was him throwing down his hair. So he tore it open, and the curtain was showing that it was an opening for us to get up, open into heaven. Like, have you ever seen someone hanging up with this yard ripping from the top? No, when some tearing up, you use it from the bottom. But it's what, everybody feeds stuff you need. So it tore from the top down. And then the people who were in the ground, the cities, woke up, got up, got their grave,
Lord have mercy. They were
now imagine you at the graveside in the tombstones around, people just start coming out their grave and walking out. I'm getting up out of there, I told you I'm scared of everything. I don't play stuff like that. I don't watch scary movies about stuff like that. But then people in their tombs, in their grave, got up, fully ready and walked out. So your grandma died and then Jesus went up, she got up, she come
She
back.
got up.
We buried you out there. Yes, but that's what happened. Those people got up, and the people who got up were the faithful ones. Those were the people who were living for him, and they committed to him, not the sinners and stuff. He brought his people back up. They walked back up in to walk the streets. And not only they got that right, they went back home. They walked to the city. So these people that we done buried, we had the funeral, we came to the clown, the food, the ground, they back up. We did all that. They walked the city now. And after he rose to the sky, they went around and walked around like they never even died. I was just so behind. I was like, my nose, don't come out. I don't care when you family. Do not come back home. Don't come back when you're supposed to be back at home. But that's what happened. And it's just like they keep talking about life and allow them to live again. That's the same thing for us as Christians. When we accept the Lord, He allows us to live again. Not only do we live again, but we live eternally because we go to heaven.
Can you imagine you in the house, grandma been in the grave for 10 years, and she's knocking at your door, go to your next door.
I ain't opening it up. Grandma will have to find her key. Just carry it. But that is what happens all day. They don't have another chance to live. That's what the Lord does. He gives us another chance to live because when you already sin, you still live.
But why? Do you think that the people that were saved, when those people gathered by the grave, think they were still too?
Oh no, I'm saying now we sin.
What was the question?
I don't know what y'all be saying.
That were saved, that were saved, that knew who Christ was. When they did when they started get up out of the grave, they probably
She
ran,
said,
they wouldn't even go
why
down and
you
see
said the
Jesus
people
die.
who believe in God already believe that Jesus was the Son of Man was proud of them, people got up where they're scared. I don't know, but I know I was scared. I believe in the Lord, but everything in me, but I still was scared.
One that got up saying this probably the direction that we're gonna rise again. So here we all rise again, not the point that they really don't understand. But we're gonna rise again, waiting on the second time, this is Christ time. So they didn't allow the grace. Then it said, saints of old, and go way back, so it just one time. Everybody was saints of old, they got out of the grave, and they headed toward that new system, the city was Jerusalem. And let them know that. So that's something that God said. We said, you want to lose the walking dead. But here, they were walking, they were dead, being still, they were alive because of God. So when you have faith in God and think about God can do everything except fail, He are making dead if you get walk. Now, wouldn't that take you to put your faith in Him?
Yes, sir.
Nobody but Him can do this.
Yeah.
They and here they come looking at you.
Talking about their home.
That's our God.
Yes, sir.
And then that veil is come out, if you remember back when we talked about the veil, all the high priest to go behind it.
That's right.
Same time with him. So now he divided that veil. So he doesn't need the high priest. The high priest left the Christ and he took that veil down from the bottom.
Yeah.
That veil is big. You have to go through no doubt with Christ now. He proved that point to them, and like we said, they still didn't want to accept what happened. That this is happening. We don't need somebody to go between. You got to go between when you trust Christ. That's the go between right there. That's what he died for. That go between us, remove that veil that they had. Because you can only go to a certain word, and all the priests would get that. But now, we don't need priests. All we need is the high priest. And that's what this specifies, the high priest. You.
Okay. Okay, y'all, we run out of time. Let's do 54.
Now when the centurion and they that were with him watching Jesus saw the earthquake and those things that were done, they feared greatly, saying, truly this was the Son of God.
Okay, the Roman soldiers who were watching, they realized like, oh my God, this is something about it. Look at all these people, people coming out the words, people walking the city, the current standing up, no, it's gotta be something about it. It's just like when you tell somebody something and they don't believe you when it didn't happen. I've been trying to tell my husband like this, but he do not like this shit. He know how to do everything, like, you know, like a big experience. And he can call to my dad, coattail, and want to be all of this, I want to see, I be like, you want to be SC title third so bad. Like, every time my dad do, Bryce wants to be that man. So he always want to say this stuff like my dad said up here. He's like, you don't tell me how to know me. I think he just like my dad, and now he say everything that my dad said. He wanted to do.
There you go, boy.
He the man in the house. He always tells me that. He always try to say, I don't even worry about it. He always saying it. And right then, what he do, he's like, he's gonna turn around and do it my way. Because I told him the right way. If he want to listen to me, he look at me. I be right. I always involve my own thing. You're supposed to tell him I told him so. But deep in my heart, I be like, I told him this how to do it. I know he should do this to me. He don't never say it, but I know he knows. But yes, it's just like that. That's how Jesus was. Like, I told y'all about something. Like, y'all already listen. You get that moment, like, yep, told so. And that's what it was. That was like, that he was telling the truth. He is. All this stuff, he got me. So, this station was telling us how powerful and real Jesus is, and even though he was crying in the market.
Y'all didn't make it. When I came up, they didn't make the renovation they look like that. Every time I hear the preach, they always say he rose on the third day. The way you talking, that was every day. The was getting up, the earth was quaking.
Yeah, I'm just scared. I'm scared of everything.
All that happened on resurrection day, and they ain't never told us that.
But yes, now y'all know.
That was a scary day. That was a scary day to me.
So this station was just telling us about how it went, well, how Jesus died and how everything happened. Remember, he didn't defend himself, he didn't show off about, like, I know what I can do. He just laid the path and he allowed the Lord to speak for him. And everybody knew in the end that it was true. It was right. So everybody found out that's all about him. It was true and it was right. So the next session is called Come See and Go Tell. Don't say me, I put that in. Come see, go tell. So we left off with Jesus down on the cross with the earth shaking, the curtains tearing, opening out the grave. We talked about all that and how they realized he was the Son of God. So now we're picking up 3 days later. And he did his comeback. You know, the comeback was real. This is how he comes back. And it's like a underdog story with Jesus crucifixion. You know, nobody believed in him. He came up and won. It's an underdog story. And I love the underdog story. So that's what he's saying now. Come see, go tell. Just explanatory. See what happened and go spread the word. There's no chance to go by. This is what you do. So, one.
In the end of the Sabbath, as it began to dawn toward the first day of the week, came Mary Magdalene and the other Mary to see the sepulchre.
Okay, shelter. There's a grave. I learned it in 8th grade. There's a poem and really shelter. There's a tomb. There's a grave. So yeah, on Saturday, which was Saturday for them, kind of early Sunday morning type thing. Mary went to the grave, and y'all know somebody that we had to go check on the grave. That's all they want to do. Want to check on the grave. It's just like I always used to do when my granddad first died. I ain't gonna say first died. I was going to like 10 years. I went to the grave, at least every 2 weeks, I switch the flour, the white out now. I finally stopped, but I realized that's not healthy. You get it very by something like this. But that's all I was doing. Y'all know that's what we do. That's like,
Oh, what?
don't even do it. Don't do it.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Don't do it.
Wait a minute.
Okay. But wait.
This is an election day, y'all.
We lost the story now. That's what the story said. But yeah, they went to the grave and they went to check it out. You know, we know let's go on to go to the grave. We be out there around here, but don't really do everybody. We don't really go to the grave. Let's just go to the grave. You two and three. Yeah.
And behold, there was a great earthquake, for the angel of the Lord descended from heaven and came and rolled back the stone from the Lord and sat upon it. His countenance was like lightning, and his raiment white as snow.
So another earthquake hit, and this time an angel came down with it, and he rolled the heavy stone, pushed they put the heavy stone in the tomb, so nobody get in. Wow. They put that stone here, and he rolled away. And he just said, "I'm like, what's up? How y'all doing?" You know, he came down, he didn't talk to him, he had on his all white, his ice white, you know, he kind of still in show. That's when you know how he's acting. He's in all white, came up around, and he's strong, he rolled it. It's like when I walked in my right shower, I didn't really look white pants too. I knew I was 17. Like when I walked out, I knew it was, yeah, I'm in his ice and white, it's all eyes on me. That's how that angel was. He stepped in, you know, he had all eyes on him. And he let them know, you know, spoke to him, don't be scared, just talk. This dude, 4.
And for fear of him, the keepers did shake and became as dead men.
Okay, so the guards were scared and they froze up, paralyzed. They were scared, you know, scared, you know how to move. It's like when a deer get caught, you head like they don't move, they're scared.
What you know
And
about
they're
that?
like, you know how, when I told you I used to get my dad's card and he used to come in my room and say, "Did you got something on my car?" I used to get free. I ain't saying no too much, look like just free, like if I don't move, he might just walk back out the room. He'll start laughing, he'll walk out, and I still do that. They call it management challenge. When they start asking me, did I do something I know I was wrong, I just don't move. I be like, they're gonna let it go, because if I don't move, he's gonna be awkward in here. And they're just gonna walk out. So they were scared, they froze, that's how I know I freeze. So when nobody knows what I'm doing. This is what they did, they froze in fear. 5 and 5, 6, 6.
What is that? What is that?
And the angel answered and said unto the women, Fear not ye, for I know that ye seek Jesus, which was crucified. He is not here, for he is risen, as he said. Come see the place where the Lord lay. And go quickly and tell his disciples that he is risen from the dead, and behold, he goes before you into Galilee. There shall ye see him, so I have told you. And they departed quickly from the sepulchre with fear and great joy, and did run to bring his disciples word.
Okay, so the angel let him know, like, I know why y'all here already. I already know what y'all here for, but I'm just here to tell you on already. Y'all missed, keep it up already, it's empty. And he told him, you don't leave, go look right quick. Ain't nobody in there, he doesn't think that. So he let him know, the tomb is empty, Jesus is gone, and then after he told them, this was going on. Now y'all need to go tell everybody, go spread the news. Y'all know what we like to do. All the women still do, we like to, we love the gossip. If you try to say you don't like no gossip, you just try, you lie, you ain't looking at the truth. If women, we love the kiki, we love the something to tell, I love the tea, I get to call on my kid, work out, go there on the phone. Hurry up, I got something to tell you, it's good. That's when you know, sometimes my auntie moving that shit for all us on, she be about 5 hours on the phone, but she got some, I got some to tell you, come on. We love the kiki now, we love the gossip. And he gave us some good tea to tell, he said, hey, work, don't tell everybody about this. He gone, like, he rolled it up. The women. He told the women. Because the Lord didn't want no men gossiping. You know this, my dad always said, women got church, the men got church. Gossiping not church on a man. And he wanted some gossiping to take place, so he ain't asked no man to go gossip. No men to go be no man. That's why he just stood with the women. he want us to go talk, go tell, you know, me don't do all that gossip and stuff. That's why
Wait.
that's why he wasn't going to tell, so it's not. That dude, that ain't supposed
The other day, I don't start nothing.
So, okay, wait, go tell everybody, they know this is Jesus. And he like, hey, y'all, what's up? That instant just dropped down and started crazy. So imagine me on the way to go tell some, go gossip about somebody, and just keep going back to, you know, we be saying speaking the devil. We don't supposed to say that, my dad, some folks be saying it. But yeah, they want this to Jesus, and they was going to tell Jesus business. And instead of, you know, talking about that, instant drop down and started crazy. I'm like, yeah, you mad, we believe, we knew you was the son of God. Singing.
Then said Jesus unto them, Be not afraid. Go tell my brethren that they go into Galilee, and there shall they see me.
Okay, so Jesus told them, don't be scared. It's me. I'm here. Y'all know what I do. I do this. Just he said, I do this. Don't be scared. Y'all know how it go down with me. So go and tell his disciples, that's his brother, his disciples, to meet him in Galilee. That's who he wants. He's going to pray there. That's what I know. So the story shows us basically that Jesus kept his word. He rose like he said he would. He didn't leave the women in the dark. You know, he helped the women out. He sent an angel, and he himself tried to comfort them as he was sending them on a mission. He stopped them to let them know, hey, this is, go tell everybody. He stopped to tell them, even he told them himself. So he let them know that he was alive, and he stuck to what he said. And when he makes promises to us, he keeps his word as well. This was a sign that to let you know that if Jesus said it's gonna happen, it's gonna happen. If he said you can put all your bets on, don't bet, it's a sin. You can believe in that that's what's gonna happen, what Jesus said. So he didn't clap back when they were messing with him. He came down, he proved his point, he stayed focused, because we were the point, saving our lives. And he stood to it for us. 3 days later, he rose. That's the story. So remember that people might laugh at your face, but it's okay. Keep going. You might go through dark seasons, but there is purpose in your pain, just like Jesus was on that cross. He got heavy for him as well, but he knew that it was a purpose for what he was going through. And God is not taking us through anything without a purpose. It's something that he wants you to grow to learn through. I always say I got sick because he wants to sit me down. I was having too much fun. I wasn't going to listen if he didn't sit me down somewhere to listen to him. I know how to get down. If he ain't let me sit, I wasn't going to sit down. I wasn't going to be quiet. I wasn't going to get in the word. So it's always a purpose, even if it's painful, because it was painful for me, but it was for a reason. I'm better than I was before, for sure. He always keeps his promises, even if it takes 3 days, or 3 years, or 30 years. It's a long time, but even if it takes 300 years, he's still gonna do it. He said, like my dad used to tell me, if he don't allow me to live through my cancer, I still need to die knowing that he could have if he wanted me to. So that's what it is. You have to know that God can, he will, everything that he said is true. And when it's time for you to rise, when it's time for you to come through your pain, nothing can stop it. Not a rock, not a curve, nothing. The curve come down, they rock will go away. And it's the same way that he will do in your life. I'm going to pass this down to y'all real teachers.
There you go, man.
Thank you for your attention, everybody.
She did a great job.
Yes, she did.
What I'm about to say is that, for the whole month, last month, we were talking about the number 3. Everything come up was about 3. And today we see that we continue talking about the number 3. So as I began to think about the number 3, and something came to my mind about her, but she was going to think about it. I looked at her name. I never go back. Last week's lesson, we had a verse that talked about love. I think the lesson fit that verse. This week's lesson, we talking about the 3. This lesson fit this person. Now, in order for this lesson fit this person, I thought about this person. Her name is Kalina Hyla Davis. I believe that's 3. Now, if you want to add a 4 to it, I'll come back. Then I thought about something else. Her father's name is L.C. Tyler. I believe that's 3. So I kept up. Somebody said, you got it up. I said, yeah, she got it up. Yeah, but remember what we said. east side, so back side is how many words? 4. That's 4. So that means if you add the 4, you add the middle name to be 4. If you add the 2 on this middle name, that would give a 4. Then I kept thinking about the 12 years that the woman suffered. She suffered 12 years to find Jesus. She went through it for 1 year, I believe, and she found Jesus. Look what happened. She suffered 12. She only did it for 1. So when you put your trust in God, God can still move just like He moved back there for her. She didn't know I was saying about her name. But think about it. Since we talk about so many threes, and I thought I'd throw that 3 in because in the last Friday, just Friday, if you wasn't there, her daddy finished saying, it is. How many words is that?
3.
What's the date? Today is what? The third Sunday. And what the third Sunday mean? That is what? It's finished because what He did? He rose. When that's some 3s.
You're doing a pretty good job.
Okay, I want you to know when we talk about some 3s. I know my folks know I love 3s, but I thought that in for us, and she didn't know anything about the 3s coming in this morning. So we got some 3s that goes right along with our blessing.
Yes, sir.
3s. I just said, I get on 3s, I think about the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost.
Come on,
And
Dick.
it said, it is finished.
Finished.
And here we go. I'm finished, and I'm going to sit down and thank you.
Here we go.
Thank you, Sister. Great job.
No, he said she got it from her dad.
My dad.